challenge of kind of replacing your all-star for at least the foreseeable future?
The first thing is, when you're talking about all-stars with Foxy and Domas, you don't replace them. It's the next man up, and you just become even more connected to go out there and find a way to get it done. Those guys obviously mean a lot to our team and our franchise, our city, but at the end of the day, that's why we have, now it's 18, well, we only have 17 guys on our team, because it has to be the next man up, and we have to do it collectively. And I think our guys are, like, if anybody was out, are willing and understand that they need to step up together to try to take on this challenge.
Does this give you a chance to utilize Kobe Jones a little bit more, or just Davion and Malik will be handling most of the ball teams, point guards?
No, we're going to try to give Kobe an opportunity too. Obviously, we'll start Davion, but we'll try to get Kobe out on the floor too at some point.
How vital is Malik's playmaking, especially with De'Aaron out?
It's big. I thought was this 2 nights ago. Down the stretch, we played him at the point, and I thought he did a fantastic job of getting off the ball. And it's tricky playing that point guard spot, especially when you're as talented as a playmaker as Malik, because you got the ball in your hands right away and you want to go make a play. And sometimes you feel like you can make a play and it may not be there, and especially if you do that possession after possession after possession, now nobody else really touches it, and that can be deflating. We're a team that moves that ball around, moves bodies around, and it helps everybody stay engaged and be connected. And so I thought he did a nice job of mixing in when to go make that play and when to get off it. So if he's at that point guard position at any time, he's got to keep trying to figure that out.
I know you really like what Malik, kind of how he runs that second unit.
Yeah.
Is there any thought to, maybe making him the starter with Fox out, or do you just like what he does with the second group so much that?
Yeah, Malik, he's got a, and at the end of the day, he may not want to hear this, because everybody wants to start and play as much as they can and shoot as much as they can. And not that Malik's a selfish player, he's human like everybody else. But I tell you what, he's such a unique player, in my opinion, that it's hard to replace him coming off the bench, because you're not going to necessarily win or lose a game at the start of the game, and when you have a guy like that can come off the bench, it gives you so much versatility, offensively especially, and then also it gives you an opportunity to bring him off for a long stretch, sit him for a couple of minutes, and then play him at the end if you need to, as opposed to starting him. And now maybe, okay, you got your second unit, and then you go back to him at the, it's just too predictable, and we don't necessarily need him with that starting group. So the versatility and the punch that he gives us off that bench is something that right now is hard for us to try to figure out how to replace that, more so than trying to replace somebody else in the starting lineup.
Mike, you guys have played the Warriors so many times early during the end of last season. Just what is there that you can throw at them that's different, that maybe you can mix things up a little bit and try to slow Steph down?
You taking his spot now? I'm sorry. You taking his spot now? You trying to get all the secrets out?
Get all the secrets.
Get all the secrets.
We gotta have some.
Yeah. Well, Steph's a phenomenal player, obviously, as we all know. But we have to. I mean, no secret. We did it in the last game, in the third, and most of the fourth. We just, we blitzed them and all that other stuff. So we're gonna have to try to mix up some coverages, try to mix up some different defenders on him. To give him different looks, because when you have great players like that, they can't see the same thing over and over again. And ironic part about it is he got us for 40, but they created their lead with him on the bench. Their separation happened when he was on the bench, and I just want to make sure that our focus isn't just on quote unquote Steph, because just like in that 7-game series. Especially in Game 7 during the playoffs. I mean, he had 50 or whatever, but Kevon Looney crushed us on the offensive glass. And so, not just that game, but throughout the series. And he won a couple of games on offensive glass, which doesn't get talked about at all, really. And so we can't we've got to be careful not putting all of our focus onto Steph. We have to make sure we try to do what we can to make him work, because you're not stopping a player that talented. You just try to make him work, but don't lose sight of what else you have to do to try to get a win.
Is there anything in Davion's game where you need to see when he plays a bigger role a little more of than maybe you would see normally?
When we're on offense, or we're on offense and he's playing pick and roll?
Just in general, I guess. I was just curious what you were hoping to see more of him with a more increased role.
So not in the pick and roll, or
Just in general, yeah.
He doesn't need to go out there and do anything special. He's got to utilize his superpower. His superpower is, especially on the ball defensively, he's getting better off the ball. But he's got to keep letting it go when he's in that position, and then control the team, push the pace. We don't want to lose our identity. Push the pace. He's done a good job all year of trying to get into the paint and spraying the ball. So I'm not looking for Davion to do anything extraordinary. I'm looking for him to come in and be who he is.
Like a late night trade last night with Harden going to the Clippers. Just any thoughts on that trade and how much more difficult the Pacific gets for you guys?
I mean, obviously they're a talented team already, and you add another talent like Harden, and it just makes them that much better. But at the end of the day, I like where we are as a team. I think we have a lot of room to grow as a team, and I'm looking forward to all the different challenges that we're going to face in the West, because there's a lot of different looks that we're going to get facing these teams in the West night in and night out. It should be a lot of fun. And if we expect to be where we want to be at the end of the year, it don't matter who gets traded.
Mike, how unfortunate is it to see De'Aaron have a setback given the way he started, but also how big a sigh of relief was it to learn that that he had avoided a more serious injury?
I mean, shoot, first of all, any of our players from Trey to Foxy to whoever it is, you don't ever want to see anybody hurt, knock on wood, and so that's tough. But obviously, you guys were starting to see a little bit of what he's been working on, because we all knew he was the fastest thing in the game of basketball. We all know that he can score in the paint with the best of them. He's got a nice little midi, nice little floater, but his three-point shot, he was taking the right ones, and it was really effortless. I don't think he shot it well in the first game, but the last two games, and I don't even know what his percentage is. I just know it seemed like it was going in more than he was missing it. But it's an effortless shot. He's shooting at the right time and the right way. And if he keeps hitting those at the right time, teams are going to have to go over his screens instead of under his screens, which is going to even open up the game that much more for him. But what I also like is his defense on the ball and off the ball. He's getting better because he's more engaged, and he's starting to show his strength, athleticism, quickness, and intelligence on that end of the floor, especially when it comes to guarding the pick and roll.